Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2018 Moving Up ceremony of H.H. Wells Middle School. I would like to invite this year's class president, Owen Lennon, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Owen. At this time, I would like to introduce several distinguished guests who have come here to honor our 8th grade students, also known as the Brewster High School class of 2022. Valerie Henning-Piedmont, our Superintendent of Schools. Mrs. Mary Kay Nielsen, Board Trustee. Mr. Christian McCall, Board Trustee. Ms. Michelle Gosh, our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction. Mrs. Kathleen Colgan, Director of Human Resources. Mrs. Elizabeth Kennedy, Director of Pupil Personnel Services. I would also like to welcome Ms. Danielle Sullivan, the Assistant Principal, who will be welcoming you, Brewster High School, who will be welcoming you there in September. We have told her many things about you, just the good ones, don't worry. Okay? And they're excited to welcome you in September. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to Mrs. Christian de Jesus Hernandez, our Assistant Principal. Next year, she will be known as Mrs. Hernandez. That's already her name, but next year she'll be known as that. We didn't want to confuse everybody midway through the year, so. Mrs. Hernandez has enriched our students' lives in countless ways with her positive energy and enthusiasm. Thank you also to Mr. Tom Nelligan and Mr. Keith Allen, who have shared the position of Dean of Students for the past 2 years. Making sure that our students feel safe and supported. Mr. Nelligan, who will be retiring this year, has been a tremendous source of encouragement and inspiration to me personally, and has touched the lives of thousands of students throughout his distinguished career at H.H. Wells. Coach Nelligan, thank you for your service to our community. Thank you for your friendship. You will be missed. But he'll still be on the basketball court. So he won't be missed that much. I would like to acknowledge your guidance counselor, Mr. Michael Hennessy. He needs a little bit more. He should be good now. Okay, Mr. Hennessy has worked tirelessly on your behalf and has been there for you over the past 3 years. His genuine compassion and sense of humor create a safe and welcoming environment, especially for those of you who understand Irish. To all our clerical staff and aides, our custodial staff and tech crew who are always working so hard behind the scenes to help things run smoothly. A special thank you to Mrs. Cormier for all you have done to help organize this event, and for all you have done through the years, especially your work for the Washington, D.C. trip and the Scholars Program. Thank you. Of course, we would like to thank all of your teachers, teachers' assistants, and aides who work so hard every day and are so passionate about what they do. Your teachers consistently go above and beyond to bring out the best in you. It's no secret how much I value the people who work in our school, and I'm proud to work with such a devoted group of professionals. I would like all of the faculty and staff present here tonight to please stand up to be recognized. I would especially like to thank Mrs. Peggy Zembrowski, who works tirelessly to make our school function at its best. Mrs. Zembrowski, a Brewster graduate, has devoted her whole life to helping others and enriching our community. Thank you to my secretary, Mrs. Zembrowski, for everything you've done to make tonight possible and for everything you do on a daily basis. Last and certainly not least, I would like to say thank you to your families who have supported you from the start and who are always there for you. Please know how proud of you they are this evening. Let's show them some gratitude. So in preparation for this evening, I reached out to my secretary, who also happens to be my therapist, Mrs. Zembrowski, as I often do, for some guidance about what I should say tonight. Her advice to me, it's going to be hot, just keep it short. So I'll do my best. Finally, I got a round of applause. On Friday, you will be walking out the doors of Henry H. Wells Middle School. For most of you, the next time you enter the building will be in 4 years, dressed in your caps and gowns, while our future middle schoolers cheer you on and celebrate your success. In planning to speak to you this evening, I thought about something that is near and dear to me as someone who has spent most of my life as an English teacher: books. Amy Tan, an acclaimed author, said, "When you read about the lives of other people of different circumstances or similar circumstances, you are part of their lives for that moment. You inhabit their lives and you feel what they're feeling. And that is compassion. If we see that reading does allow us that, we see how absolutely necessary and essential reading is." Your first year in Wells, we read together a book called Counting by Sevens by Sharon Draper. The book is about a young girl named Willow Chance, an unusual kid who just doesn't fit in. She's extremely intelligent when it comes to recognizing complex patterns. However, she doesn't know how to relate to other people very well. After suffering the loss of her parents, several people step into her life, including a guidance counselor, a taxi driver, and a Vietnamese family. They become her extended family, and Willow learns how beautiful life can be when she has a sense of belonging. When these strangers enter Willow's life to try to save her, they quickly learn how much their own lives improve because of her. Willow is named after a tree, blossoms, just like the beautiful garden she creates with her new family. This past year, we all read a book called Out of My Mind by Sharon Draper about an 11-year-old Melanie Brooks who was born with cerebral palsy. Melody is unable to function on her own. She cannot walk, talk, go to the bathroom on her own, or even feed herself. Without the help of others, she would not survive. When people see Melody, they make certain assumptions. They assume that she has limited intelligence, that she doesn't have the capacity to learn, and pretty much that she has nothing to contribute to the community. We, as the readers, see so much more. We see an incredibly smart, funny, caring young lady who is bored by the menial tasks she is given, who wants to be challenged by her teachers, and most of all, who wants to be accepted by her peers and who feels heartbroken when she is rejected by them. When I've reflected on these stories looking for common themes, I uncovered a basic truth. Everyone wants to feel included by their community. When we do not feel included or accepted by others, we suffer greatly. Melody and Willow both felt this. However, when we include others and treat them with kindness, we help them grow and gain confidence. Not only does it improve their lives, but it improves ours as well. To quote the Dalai Lama, "If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion." As students, you came here to learn from us, but we have learned so much from you, and we are grateful for the lessons that you have taught us. This year was tough in many ways. It started with hurricanes, and it ended up with devastating tornadoes. The hurricanes, although they affected people far away in Puerto Rico and Texas, made a tremendous impression on all of us. So many people in our school community to start the year reached out, hoping to be able to do something, anything, to help the people who were suffering. We took this opportunity to expand our community by coordinating a Wells Cares initiative to bring people together, raising thousands of dollars to donate to relief efforts in Puerto Rico and Texas. We did not know the people who were affected. We just knew we wanted to help them. Then it was our turn. Last month, our community was hit with devastating tornadoes. Many people lost electricity. Some people even lost their homes, including one of our own teachers, Mrs. Flower. When our community was in crisis, people came from other states to help us. They came to restore power and remove trees that were knocked down. Mrs. Flower and her family experienced the overwhelming power of a community that cares, with so many people helping in whatever way they could. I have one more illustration of how we have shown compassion for others. I actually had tons of illustrations, but Mrs. Zabrowski. Last week before the 8th grade dance, many of you signed up to make sure that all of our students in Mr. Salamini's class had friends with them for the entire evening, setting up a friend schedule to ensure they had fun at the dance. In addition, many of you have consistently given of yourselves to build relationships with our students who need more support, often giving up your free time to spend lunches working with them. This is what Wells is about, and we are very proud of all of you. In September, you will head off to BHS, and we will welcome new 6th graders into our community. Even though you will no longer be at H.H. Wells, our mission to serve others and to build a community that cares remains steady and true. Thank you for your many contributions. We hope you will cherish your memories and have great success in the days ahead of you. Congratulations to all of you. We are very proud of you, and we look forward to seeing you at graduation in 4 years. Thank you. At this time, I would like to invite our superintendent, Dr. Valerie Henning-Piedmont, to address our WMS Class 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Good evening, students, parents and families, Board of Education trustees, educators, administrators, and special guests. 8th graders, you are here this evening to celebrate the end of your middle school years and the beginning of your next exciting journey, which culminates with you being a member of the 131st graduating class of Brewster High School. I stopped by the PAC upstairs last Friday when you were here for 9th grade orientation. There was anticipation and nervousness in the air. You met members of the student government here at the high school who encouraged you to get involved. When they invited some of you to the podium to share why you wanted to join the student government, I listened to some of your classmates make impromptu statements about why they wanted to serve in a particular role, such as vice president or treasurer. I was so impressed to hear students state that, as a member of student government, they would put the concerns of the student body ahead of their own concerns and work to improve student life. Your class was then led on a tour of this building by graduating seniors to get a sense of the layout of the building and a sense of high school life. I hope that last Friday's experience helped you to feel a little less nervous and anxious about making Brewster High School a new home away from home for the next 4 years. 2 days ago, we said goodbye to about 270 graduating seniors who are now headed to college, to work, the military, or a combination of these options. Before they left, I had a chance to speak to many of these experts who mostly had spent 13 years in the district to gain some insights about their experiences as students that I can pass on to you. One of the questions that I asked them was, what did they wish that they had done more of as a student before their senior year? This is what they said. While being a good student is important, they also wished that they had learned about different careers so that they connected what they were learning to a prospective career early on, or simply so that they could explore some options. A few mentioned that they wished that they had spoken up when they witnessed a student being treated unkindly, or when they heard an adult say something that troubled them. They wished that they had joined more co-curricular clubs or sports as a way of getting to know others who they didn't necessarily see in their classes. They suggested that you not drop a co-curricular club just because you don't see your friends in the club. They also wanted to propose new clubs, and they suggested that you not be afraid to make a suggestion, even as a freshman. Field trips came up many times. They recall the Washington, D.C. trip, which is a fresh memory for you. But as their last field trip that some had taken, and they expressed how memorable field trips were and what they learned, they weren't just time out of school. They wanted more field trips, even if it was a visit to museums or art galleries in New York City. A few suggested that students get involved in helping others through community service. They recognized that being a student wasn't just about classes, but through community service, it was a chance to do something that helped others. They wished that they had thought seriously about college as early as freshman year, rather than waiting later in their junior year. Some suggested that as a freshman, you should take college trips and not just wait until junior year. These seniors also talked about failure. One student said that he wished that he had learned that failure was not a bad thing, but a way to learn. Universally, they wished that they had made more friends and taken the chance to get to know new people, not just those that they had grown up with. Some wished that they had pushed themselves more and taken more challenging courses. Those who reported this felt that they could have done more and could have done better as a student if they had tried harder. The valedictorian of this class, Chris McCarthy, told his fellow classmates, graduates, on Saturday not to wait until they grow up to focus on important success skills like perseverance, resilience, empathy, courage, and compassion. He stated that students need to start practicing these skills today, not sometime in the future. I thought that this was superb advice. I hope that you take the time to reflect on these pearls of wisdom from our recent graduates and follow up on their advice. In closing, along with your parents and your family, your friends, who you can always count on, you will also be able to add to this list the many caring adults here in the high school who are committed to your success. They will help you to build upon your strengths and identify your chosen path in life. I look forward to seeing you next year in classes, in the hallways here in the high school, at athletic events, musical events, assemblies, plays, awards, programs. I hope that you view the next 4 years as an opportunity to practice being the person who you want to become and that you can become. Congratulations, 8th graders. Have a great summer.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. In continuation of a tradition that began several years ago, and since scholarship is the center of what we do, we will now begin our academic recognition. Family and friends, in your program, you will see our list of this year's 8th grade scholars. All of the scholars listed have earned 93% or better for the first 3 marking periods of this school year, earning no quarterly or semester grade below a 74. Tonight we have a total of 59 8th graders who have achieved this, subsequently earning high honor roll status. We commend you for your discipline and persistence, knowing that this is no easy feat. Congratulations. You will notice that we have 38 3-year scholars denoted in the program. This distinction means that students have earned high honor roll status for 11 consecutive quarters of middle school. For those students who have earned this honor, there is another goal to aim for, the 7-year Scholar Award given to graduating seniors by the Brewster Education Foundation. 7-year scholars have maintained high honor roll status since the first quarter of their 6th grade year, having been consecutively enrolled in the Brewster schools from day 1 of grade 6 through the end of grade 12. The Brewster Education Foundation awards a $500 scholarship to those students who can maintain this remarkable accomplishment for 27 consecutive marking periods. At this time, I would like to announce the 8th grade scholars. We ask the scholars to stand up to be recognized and to remain standing until all recipients have been announced. We ask that you please hold applause until all recipients are standing. The 27-2018 Grade 8 Scholars. Sophia Ozugaray, Cayenne Bozil, Elisa Cardona, Maya Carnes, Jennifer Casual, Rory Charbonneau, Nora Coiningham, Teresa Louise Cornelio, Eva Cuccinell, Ava Cullen, Shane Daly, Gentiana Dervishai, Braden DiCarlo, Danielle Diaz, Dylan Dodona, Christopher Donahue, Alicia Eder, Giovanna Ellsroth, Fatakemi Falana, Grace Galgano, Jennifer Gerfin, Luke Gerstner, Gianna Joeli, Erica Hamill, Ian Hayes, Tiernan Hecht, Jack Jordan, Noel Kakanotu, Isabella LaLuna, William Martinez, Shane McLaughlin, Jameson Moscoso Duarte, Joshelle Moscoso Duarte, Hiri Mukulai, Jessica Napolitano, James Nagy, Nicole Nivea Domsky, Lindsay O'Hara, Arthur Panetta, Sean Pulowski, Juliet Peralta, Anna Peterson, Luke Prattley, Danielle Ramos, Megan Renzi, Jacqueline Rep, Christiana Restucci, Danielle Rosner, Talia Rubio, Luca Sacamano, Angela Santamarina, Nick Sage, Jacqueline Sherpa, Brooke Tembeck, Marvin Tate, Christopher Triola, Angelica Tayansky, Carly Valente, and Joelle Wall. congratulations and keep up the good work. You may be seated. I would like to call Mrs. Daria Pascal to the podium to present the Barbara Gillette Memorial Awards. And Mrs. Brooker.
Good evening. The Barbara Gillette Memorial Award was created in 2011 after the passing of our dear colleague, Barbara Gillette. Mrs. Gillette was a passionate Spanish teacher for Brewster Central Schools for over 25 years. She believed very strongly in embracing cultural understanding and diversity. Barbara graduated from the School of International Training, Stevens College, and the Universidad of Navarra in Spain. She worked in the corporate world both here and abroad, taught in several Middle Eastern cities, and was a Peace Corps volunteer in South America. She was fiercely independent. Barbara was a leader and a truly remarkable person. Barbara was an advocate for lifelong learning. She was an avid reader, gardener, and had 3 remarkable Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. Barbara was well known for her unique and often outrageous jewelry, but her gusto for life. Barbara's students were greatly saddened by her passing. One student wrote, "Your class was one of our favorites. We all gained a new passion for language and for life because of you." Barbara was special to the staff as well. She was kind. Barbara was the one to make a meal for a sick friend, knit for soldiers overseas, and provide a ride for that friend whose car had broken down. She is fondly remembered for her intelligence, her wit, and her compassion for others. The award is presented to the 8th grade student who demonstrates the spirit of appreciation of cultural differences, a love of learning languages and other cultures, service to others, and compassion. The award this year is given out to 3 students. So we had a tremendous number of people apply for this award. The second place award is for $200, and the recipients are, this year, 2018, it'll be for Evelyn Reagan and Angelica Tyhansky. Please come forward. The first place award in the amount of $600 goes to Grace Gargano.
Thank you and congratulations. I would now like to introduce Mr. Michael Hennessy, who will present the Triple C Awards.
Often in life, real heroes are invisible. Invisible, that is, unless we take a moment to acknowledge them, to recognize that the people who triumph in life are not always those celebrated on the glossy pages of magazines or featured on SportsCenter. We know our heroes best as students that come to class every day, sometimes with learning disabilities, social challenges, economic hardship, and personal frailties. They are the family members who make sacrifice that cannot be measured with tablespoons. They are the teachers that celebrate capitalization and punctuation in the same way that regular people celebrate weddings and births. Courtesy of the Office of the Attorney General, today we have an opportunity to celebrate 2 students that have demonstrated the character, courage, and commitment that heralds them as heroes in their own lives and in our school community. They demonstrate the character that is only ever found within. It is quiet, austere, and self-regulating. It is the type of character that helps students overcome obstacles that stand in their way. And it is the character stands like a mast, steadfast against the winds of history and circumstance. Some battles in life are fought with swords and others with tears. They are courageous because they suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, but refuse to yield to the cries to surrender. I am reminded of the great American tale, The Wizard of Oz. In my adaptation, the tornado that uproots Dorothy is a metaphor for the turbulent times of middle school. The Tin Man, Scarecrow, and the Lion are merely aspects of ourselves that must be integrated to become one whole being that we call the adolescent. And if we stretch the metaphor just a little further, I am the barking dog that is a trusted aid to the protagonist. Mr. Clark gets to choose whether he wants to be the wicked witch or the benevolent wizard. This year's recipients have faced hardships in life that are seldom placed on the shoulders of those so young. They greet every day with a smile and every teacher with a greeting. They are full of pride and perseverance, a pride that engenders dignity and respect for oneself and others. Winston Churchill, not an Irishman, said that courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. The students nominated for the CCC Award sat long enough. They have listened long enough, and now it is time for them to stand and to be measured as heroes. Jennifer Salazar Suarez and James Narvaez, please come and support them.
Thank you, Mr. Hennessy. I was going to sit down and listen for a little bit longer, but I had to get back up. So, I would like to introduce Ms. Christian De Jesus to explain the Presidential Award in Achievement and Excellence.
Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, our wonderful principal, Mr. Clark, had the pleasure of welcoming everyone, and he shows his gratitude. So before I begin, I would like all of us to show our gratitude for our wonderful principal. The President's Education Awards program is designed to recognize those students whose outstanding efforts have enabled them to meet the challenging standards of excellence. The award consists of two categories: the President's Award for Educational Excellence and the President's Award for Educational Achievement. The eligibility criteria is based on students' GPA, 90 to 92.999, and teacher recommendation. After reviewing the students' GPA for grades 6, 7, and 8 here at Wells Middle School, we then looked at the students and placed them into one of two levels: academic excellence and academic achievement. Here is a brief description of each level. Students that may have missed the high honor roll, scholars distinction by a small margin, but have shown high academic consistency, earn the President's Award for Academic Excellence. Students that missed the high honor roll, scholars distinction by a larger margin, but have shown consistent effort and may have overcome obstacles in and out of school, earn the President's Award for Academic Achievement. Again, to echo Mr. Clark, we're going to call out all names, remain standing, and audience, you can applause when all names are called. Dominic Bonamassa, James Carrion, Duncan Caruth, Darren Chen, Sarah Constantino, Ryan Costales, Hannah Delamonico, Jillian DeRose, Daniel Diaz, Diego Diaz, Fiona Dodd, Sophia Dodd, Teresa Dunlap, Brian Flores, John Gerfin, Marcus Gromowski, Gabriela Guastadeseni, Marco Gula, Sarah Jabornik, Kate Katsetos, Sadie Keefe, Evan Noor, Malena Kokaj, Arbesa Krasnichi, Isabella LaLuna, Owen Lennon, Louis Likens, Madeline Matson, Sophia Moran, Hiri Mushkalai, Jessica Napolitano, Lindsay O'Hare, Arthur Panetta, Jacob Park, Chester Patty, John Palowski, Alondra Ramos, Judy Ramos Fernandez, Ella Rhodes, Julia Riofrio, Cooper Rookwood, Andrian Ribka, Matthew Salvo, Michaela Santangelo, Ashley Scheel, Amanda Shraley, Emily Sunday, Emily Sullivan, Maya Shevchik, Michael Triolo, and Kara Tuaninga. These are our 2017-2018 President's Education Award for Outstanding Achievement. You may be seated. Now for our 2017-2018 President's Education Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence, Nula Alvord, Parker Arenas, Gabriela Bartolomeo, Brittany Saran, James Clark, Megan Cypress, Matthew Dunn, Maddie Fitzpatrick, Julian Gabriel, Jacob Gasparini, Brandon Giron, Mario Guevara Velasquez, Kaylee Guzman, Kylie McCooey, Bailey McKeever, James Narvaez, Lily Nickerson, Ashley Rampola, Evelyn Regan, Emily Racinko, Brandon Selman, Gabriel Stalker, and Kaylee Wolkin. You may be seated. Thank you.
Congratulations, everybody. At this time, I would like to introduce Ms. Michelle Gosh, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, who will present the Wells Academic Excellence Medallion Awards.
Good evening. I am pleased to present the next set of awards, the Wells Academic Excellent Medallion Awards. They are achieved through focus and hard work within our academic areas. Please come forward when your name is called to receive your medallion. Art, Nula Albert. Technology Education, Ian Hayes. Health, Sean Pulaski and Kylie McCooey. Physical Education, Evan Noor and Grace Galgano. We have 4 music awards. Vocal, Carissa Alvarado. Instrumental, Talia Rubio. Orchestra, Angelica Tahansky. General Music, Maya Shevchik. We have 3 awards from the World Language Department. First, Spanish, Juliette Peralta. Italian, Erica Hamill. Heritage Spanish, Elisa Cardona. English Department Awards from the White Team, Megan Renzi. Green Team, Jacqueline Repp. And Silver Team, Alicia Eder. Math Department Awards from the White Team, Shane McLaughlin. Green Team, Ava Cullen. Silver Team, Braden DiCarlo. Science Department Awards from the White Team, Gentiana Dervishai. We have co-awards in science in the Green Team, Giselle Muskogo Duarte and Jameson Muskogo Duarte. In science on the Silver Team is Jack Jordan. And last but certainly not least, Social Studies. White Team, Keme Falana. Green Team, William Martinez. And Silver Team, Shane Daly. Congratulations.
Next up is the Upstander Awards. These students are being recognized as Upstanders. An Upstander is someone who demonstrates empathy, compassion, good citizenship, and is a desire to help others. These students stand out as students who have consistently chosen to do what is right over what is popular, and they have made a difference in the lives of others. I'm pleased to present Upstander Awards to Alondra Ramos, Ella Rose, and Ashley Shield. Thanks to a donation by the Brewster's Elks, those students received a $50 scholarship. The next award is the Wells Outstanding Student Award. It is given to one student from each team who we feel reflects the standard and quality of a Wells student. I would like to now introduce Mrs. De Jesus, Mrs. Hernandez, to present the 8th grade white team Outstanding Student Award.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. I'm rolling out my new name slowly. It's a process. Okay, the 8th grade white team is full of students that have brought intelligence, creativity, humor, empathy, and strong character to our classrooms each day. The teachers on this team will miss this group, and we wish them all the best in their future endeavors. The recipient of our team's Wells Outstanding Student Award is going to a young lady who impressed us at the start of the year and who just continued to flourish as the year progressed. When asked to write a poem for English class this year, our award winner described herself as sweet, loyal, cheerful, and active. It is safe to say that her teachers and peers agree wholeheartedly. She's an active member of the National Junior Honor Society and can be seen on the volleyball and basketball courts, as well as the lacrosse field. In our classes, we watched this young lady acquire a greater self-confidence as the year progressed. She put forth her best effort every day, taking pride in completing her work neatly and correctly. Her relentlessness and positive attitude has resulted in her being a true role model for her peers. She is poised and appears before our classes without hesitancy. She truly shines. Brewster High School is lucky to be gaining Ella Rhodes.
I would now like to introduce Ms. Deborah May to present the 8th grade Green Team Outstanding Student Award.
Make sure the glasses around. This young woman brings positive energy wherever she is. She is a mature and extremely conscientious student who knows when to be serious and focused on the task at hand. However, what her teachers love most about her is her sense of humor and bright smile that can always lighten the mood when we take ourselves too seriously. She is the one upon whom everyone depends and is accepting of all those around her. She is the one you would want to have on your team, whether it's in a class group, an athletic team, or our team, the Green Team. Academically, she has maintained high honor roll status through all the 3 years in the middle school and serves on the National Junior Honor Society. Despite her busy school schedule, her talent as an athlete shines on the varsity softball team as a third baseman. You're not supposed to guess. And in competitions at the national level on her fast-pitch travel team. She sets high goals and challenges herself to be the best she can be in both the classroom and on the field. She's a truly well-rounded girl who is an excellent role model for her peers. Therefore, it was with great pleasure that I announce this year's 8th grade Green Team Outstanding Student, Kate Costello.
I would now like to introduce Mr. Michael Patorti to present the 8th grade Silver Team Outstanding Student Award.
Middle school can generally be described as a tumultuous time in our lives, but the recipient of our award tonight has managed to swim through her experiences at Wells as if it were a gentle stream. When the first message went out about selecting a candidate for this year's award, her name was a common variable on a short list of each of her teachers. Whether laboring over geometry proofs, and there were many of those, graciously gliding through the pages of a perfectly penned memoir, or eliciting the adoration of onlookers at gymnastic meets, she always demonstrates her absolute best, When she faces adversity, she not only adapts, she inspires. Throughout her times at Wells, she achieved high honor roll time and time again. She demonstrated athletic excellence as part of not only our modified soccer team, but also through her passionate dance routines and at different gymnastic events. She's an ever-compassionate presence for her peers at schools, always offering a consoling shoulder or words of pensive wisdom as needed. Though I've only personally known her for a year, she's left an immense impact on our school from the second she stepped through the front doors. There's so much more to say, but due to the oppressive heat, I would like to announce with great admiration and joy that this year's 8th grade Silver Team Outstanding Student Award goes to Erica Hamlin.
We would now like to introduce the graduates of the class of 2018. The names will be presented by our 8th grade guidance counselor, Mr. Michael Hennessy.
For any of the names that I get wrong, I refer you to Google Translate. Deborah Akinsuri. Marissa Alvarado. Nuala Alvord. Sophia Alzugare. Parker Arenas. Taj Arnold. Amarnia Viles. Gabriela Bartolomeo. Julian Basiletti. Kyan Bozil. Francisco Beltran. Sean Bermudez. Dominic Bonamassa. Eddie Persino. Michael Brill. Allison Byrne. Jared Cantoral. Alyssa Cardona. Maya Carnes. Jasmine Carpenter. James Carrion. Duncan Caruth. Julio Casasola. Annalie Castro. Jennifer Casual. Brittany Saron. Rory Charbonneau. Charby. Madison Clare. James Clark. Wilmer Koji Shuta. Sarah Constantino. Cecilia Contreras Hernandez. Nora Cunningham. Alexis Corey. Teresa Cornelio. Ryan Costales. Eva Cuccinell. Ava Cullen. Megan Cypress. Shane O'Dalik. Giovanna da Silva. Adriana Di Saint Leon. Hannah Dall'Amonico. Jenny Delgado. Jillian DeRose. Gentiana Derbyshire. Rena Derbyshire. Braden DiCarlo. Daniel Diaz. Diego Diaz. Dylan Dodonna. Fiona Dodd. Sophia Dodd. Christopher Donahue. Brian Duarte. Teresa Dunlap. Emma Durante. Alicia Eder. Giovanna Eldroth. Adam Eskenazi. Jason Espana. Fatakemi Falena. Maddie Fitzpatrick. Brian Flores. Shayla Franklin. Julian Gabriel. Grace Galgano. Carson Gallo. Johan Garcia. Jacob Gasparini. Jennifer Gerfen. John Gerfen. Jack Gershon. Luke Gershner. Gianna Gioeli. Brandon Giron. Jennifer Giron Ramirez. Kaylee Golash. John Golanello. Cindy Gomez. Devin Gordon. Marcus Gromorski. Lauren Guerna. Gabriela Gusta Desani. How did I do? 3 years that one took me. Daniela Guerna. Mario Rivera Velasquez. Marco Gula. Kylie Guzman. No stranger to the stage. Erica Hamill. Ethan Ham. Ian Hayes. Tiernan Hecht. Zamira Herrera. Daniel Hupp. Sarah Jabornik. Anthony Janik. Sky Johnson. Justin Jolie. Jack Gordon. Noel Kakanatu. Kate Katselos. Sadie Keefe. Kevin Kirschbaum. Alexander Knight. Evan Orr. Malena Kokash. Arbesa Krasniki. Isabella La Luna. Owen Lennon. Ming Lee. Lewis Likens. Cara Minuccia. William Martinez. Madeline Matson. Anthony McBride. Kylie McCooey. Bailey McKeever. Shane McLaughlin. Keelan Mahia Mendez. Sean Merchant. Emily Monaco. Karen Morales Racinos. Sophia Moran. Jameson Moscoso Duarte. Michelle Moscoso Duarte. Lauren Murphy. Harry Mushkolai. Jessica Napolitano. James Narvaez. James Nagy. Blue Nickerson. Nicole Neviadomsky. Tiffany O'Connell. Lindsay O'Hara. Ryan O'Connor. Iman Omer. Christopher Rosario Aguirre. Arthur Panetta. Jacob Park. Samantha Pascali. John Pulowski. John Pulowski. Juliet Peralta. Anna Peterson. Anthony Pintavalli. Luke Pratley. Cristela Kamali. Pablo Ramirez. Alondra Ramos. Daniel Ramos. Judy Ramos Fernandez. Ashley Rampola. Evelyn Regan. Megan Ramsey. Jacqueline Rep. Christiana Rastucci. Ella Rhodes. Dominic Rienzi. Julia Riofrio. Alan Rodriguez. Justin Rodriguez. Christopher Reed Rodriguez Felipe. Luis Rojas. Randy Romero Moscoso. Cooper Rockwood. Star O'Kay. Manuel Roque Gruera. Danielle Rosner. Talia Rubio. Emily Ricinco. Andrian Ripka. Luca Sacamano. Sebastian Salazar. Roxana Salazar Hernandez. Jennifer Salazar Juarez. Jordan Salmon. Matthew Salvo. Elliston Sankar. Angela Santa Marino. Michaela Santangelo. Nick Sage. Brandon Selman. Ashley Shield. Landon Shelley. Logan Shelley. Jacqueline Sherpa. Tashi Sherpa. Amanda Straley. Justin Skorowicz. Ryan Smith. Emily Sunday. Rebecca Soto. Stafford. Gabriel Stalker. Montana Steinhardt. Ailey Sudol. Emily Sullivan. Angus Sutherland. Maya Shevchik. Emily Taylor. Brooke Tembeck. Marvin Tete. Richard Tofty. Lara Tohumchu. Catherine Tamarzo. Christopher Triolo. Michael Triolo. Cara Trininga. Angelica Tahansky. Owen Tyndall. Evelyn Euricia. Carly Valente. Jordan Vasquez. Jose Benalonzo Romero. Darwin Ventura. Elizabeth Desio. Kurt Borkowski. Joelle Wald. Bryce Washington. Gabriel Weber. Grace Wiener. Michael Woolley. And Kaylee Wolkin. Congratulations.
Please be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce Ms. Danielle Sullivan, Assistant Principal of Brewster High School.
Good evening, parents, families, friends, faculty and staff, members of our Board of Education, the administrators at Wells, and to these wonderful 8th grade students. Thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful event. It is so nice to see all of you again. I had the opportunity to meet these students on June 15th during freshman orientation, and boy, did they leave an impression. A very, very good impression. Let me clarify. All of the students began their day in our Performing Arts Center, and they were planning to give speeches to announce their candidacy to run for the 9th grade class officer positions. Not only did that take a tremendous amount of courage to get up in front of their peers, plus the high school administrators, faculty and staff, our superintendent as well. They did it with such articulation. They were so well qualified, and they were truly genuine. Students also were asked to announce if they planned on running for a class officer. Several students stood up and came to the podium to announce that they were planning on running for a class office position. That was impressive enough, but what impressed me most was the encouragement, the applause, the support that all of you gave your peers when they were stepping out of their comfort zone, standing in front of a large group of people, taking a risk. That was incredibly impressive. I was truly amazed. Later on through the orientation, there were students who were thinking critically, who were asking questions, who were offering solutions to very difficult problems. I have to say that I was so proud of all of you in that moment. You were polite, you were respectful, you were truly engaged in what was a very long and overwhelming morning, I know that. You all presented yourselves as conscientious, responsible individuals. By the end of your orientation, I had such an overwhelming sense of pride. And as you left the building, I was so excited thinking about working with all of you for the next 4 years. I want to take a moment to thank the faculty and staff at Wells for preparing all of you for the next steps in your education and in life. You truly did an outstanding job. These are fine individuals. And to you students, I encourage you to continue to develop these positive character traits and important skills that you have exhibited and displayed. I want to extend my congratulations to all of you, and I would also like to officially welcome you to Brewster High School as the class of 2022.
Thank you, Ms. Sullivan. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the PTA for the outstanding job they did again this year. They've partnered with us in many of our school efforts, providing many assemblies, helping us to fund field trips, and organizing many family and faculty events. Their generosity is beyond measure. We would also like to thank them for their generous 8th grade gifts, a t-shirt, and a panoramic picture, which all 8th graders received earlier today. I would also like to thank the Brewster Education Foundation for their continued support and their generosity with the Barbara Gillette Scholarship Fund Awards. They have also helped with various school grants and also provided funding for the Wells Middle School Courtyard Project. A huge thank you to our custodial and maintenance staff who have worked so hard to prepare everything for us this evening. Please welcome the 8th grade chorus led by Miss Jonna. 9th grade chorus. How quickly we forget. We still have a couple days. Led by Miss Jonna Barra. If the chorus members can please come forward and take your places. They will be singing "We Go Together." 67. Thank you. As our commencement ceremony comes to a close, we ask that everybody please remain seated until the graduates have left the gym. You can meet your graduates in the cafeteria. We thank you, the parents, for your contributions to your child's success. Again, please remain seated until the graduates have left. Thank you.